Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. Paul Dyson, Burbank resident, Chair of the Transportation Commission, President of RailPAC. This is a Rubik's Cube kind of an issue, and I can only just touch on a few aspects of it tonight. But you've been asked to endorse this Measure M to pay for transit and street improvements. Some of you, I think, were around in 1981 when citizens approved the first transit sales tax, Measure A, and a map was circulated showing a complete county-wide network of connectivity and transit lines. And I'm sure there are some people that could have given almost the identical spiel that the gentleman behind me has just given about how wonderful it was all going to be and how it's going to solve all the problems. This map was circulated, but unfortunately the funds were spent far before the projects on the map were brought into being. Most of the money went on the Red Line subway, and also on the Blue Line light rail. So pretty soon they came back a few years later with Measure C for another half cent. And not too long ago we had Measure R, another half cent. Question is, has that money been well spent? Have Metro and the other agencies delivered as promised? Have indeed we received value for money? Certainly there are still plenty of gaps in that Measure A map from 1981 that still haven't been filled 35 years later, when millions and millions of dollars spent, not only from the sales tax, but from matching funds, federal grants, and so forth. As far as Burbank is concerned, in 1991, 25 years ago, we have a new agency formed, the SCRRA, or now mostly known as Metrolink, which is funded predominantly by Metro, which was supposed to provide a regional service, a key to us here in Burbank. Metrolink's a failure. It handles about 20,000 people a day, about 40,000 round trips, in a population area of about 9 or 10 million. Suddenly, another 1% of this money is going to turn all that around, and it's all going to work. I'm sorry. Right now, it takes you almost 2 hours to get to Orange County by train, and don't figure about coming home after 6 o'clock because there aren't any trains. Locally, Metro bus hours have been cut in spite of all these sales taxes, except suddenly for the appearance of this 501 Express, the political bus that suddenly materialized 2 or 3 months before this measure was going to come onto the ballot. And by the way, I strongly suggest you look at the charts and the graphs that are available to show the pitifully small ridership that's on that bus. Metrolink is struggling, so Burbank Bus, which was built around Metrolink, is in deep trouble. I spent 3 hours down at the Metrolink station this afternoon counting bodies as they came off of the Burbank bus from the media district. Probably down about 50% from what it was at its peak. And it really it's a sad situation. There's a bigger picture aspect to this as well, though. This sales tax revenue is vulnerable to recessions. We went through this ourselves in trying to fund the Burbank bus over about 4 or 5 years ago, and we were in a major deficit. And there's increasing competition from out-of-state online businesses where most of them don't bother to collect the California sales tax. And yet the Metro board members want to securitize this revenue to accelerate the projects, bring them forward, and leave debt for future generations so that after about 10 years, the money will have been spent and all that will come in will be the bills. A cynic, and I'm rapidly approaching that status, a cynic would say that this is all a ruse to get the rest of the county to pay for the Purple Line subway, which is the elephant in the room. The Purple Line subway, about $9 or $10 billion project, bigger than by a factor of at least 10 than any of the other projects that are on the list. So all of these other cockamamie projects, if you excuse the expression, are really just window dressing, like this BRT that they came to talk about here a couple of weeks ago, this bus rapid transit, which somehow or other it's a $250 million project to do what the 501 is failing to do today, and somehow we're supposed to buy into that and think that that's, again, a solution to our problems. I'm afraid that I have a hard time believing that M will somehow miraculously succeed where A, C, and R have fallen short. In the past 3.5 decades, these key transportation decisions have been made by Metro Board politicians, not on the basis of professional transportation expertise, but for political considerations only. Measure M gives too much money and too much power to an agency that has not and probably never will deliver as promised. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.